Hi, this is Wayne Bilal, and today we're going to talk about data sharing. All right, there's really to share the data in your QuickBooks. There's two people you're going to want to share it with, either fellow workers or your CPA. And let's talk about both. All right. There's two options when you want more than one person to work on your company at the same time. One, you can put it on your server. That's just, the file is located in your server and you give permissions for other people to access it. And show you how to do that in just a second. All right. The second thing is you can put it on an ASP, an application service provider, which means it's hosted in the cloud. And why would you pick one over the other? Well, if everybody's in the same place, go ahead and stick it on your server. But if you're in different locations, the ASP may be a better option. For example, we use Right Networks, good company. We've had no trouble with them. Good support too. So I recommend them if you are thinking this option. But what we do is, let's say our client is in their office working on QuickBooks. We can sign into the same company from our office and work. For that matter, the owner can be on vacation and can sign in and check what's going on in their own records because they can sign in from any place in the world that has internet access. That's one advantage of having it on an ASP. All right, you can do that on your own computer by getting go to my PC. I use it a lot, so it works quite well. So I mean, that's unless you're going to do a lot of data entry, that might be cheaper. But there's some options there. Now, if you're going to have your employees do that, what you first must do, come up here to File. All right, and you're going to go switch to multi-user. All right. And if you've never done this before, what it's going to do first is pop up a window once it's done thinking. There we go. Yep, wrong window. That's just telling me I'm in a sample company. All right, I can now use it in multi-user mode. And I've set something up before, so let me show you what I've done. What I've done, if you go up here to company, all right, set up users and passwords, I've set up Sally Bookkeeper. Now, in Sally Bookkeeper's case, and you could set up anybody. I mean, let's add a George the biller. And I just said Jorge. Oh well, whatever. I'm gonna give a password that they set their own. It really doesn't matter, or I can give them one. It really doesn't matter. All right. Because I'm just going to keep them in certain areas. I'm not going to let them have everything. I'm going to say next. No act here. This is what I want. I want them to be the biller and the salesperson so they can do everything. I don't want them to do anything with purchases and accounts payable, checking, inventory, time tracking, payroll, sensitive counting, nothing. All right, changing, yeah, I'll let them change, but not before the close date. And here I can review what I've done. Notice the only thing I'm giving them access to is the sales and accounts receivable. See? Letting them create, print, and do reports. So I'm going to hit finish. Now, if I want to change something like Sally, originally she was the original biller, but all right. In this case, I'm going to change her to all areas because now she's taken over bookkeeping. So I'm just going to say yes and see if she can get everything, but she doesn't have the ability to get into to delete. She's not the admin. She can't upgrade. She can't delete the files. She can't do quite a few other things. Only the admin can. And I cannot tell you how much I would say this. The admin has to be the owner. If you want to give the accountant something, give them. You can. If you notice, if I want to set up a user, I can basically set up, let's say, CPA, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to use numbers here because, of course, they're a CPA. All they care. And I'm going to call them an external accountant. So this is one thing that see they get everything except for. I'm sorry, except for critical, billings. They don't get to see credit cards and things like that. So now you see I got this. What happens now is all of those four people can work in this file at the same time doing different things. That's the key. You cannot, there's something called data locking, which means, yeah, we can all be working on receivables, but we can't all be working on the same customer. See, we can't be working on Miss Christie Abercrombie. I can because I have it open, but nobody else can. That's called data locking. Now, the next thing that happens is the sharing the file so that your CPA or tax person can actually do a tax return or a financial statement. And you have two options here. One, you can just do a simple backup. You can create a backup right here. Sorry about the beep, I hit the wrong button. All right. And backup problem with that is yeah, they can do a financial statement tax return, but they cannot bring in any changes from a prior that they made. They're going to have to print it out. You're going to have to re-enter them if you want them to match. All right. Another option that usually works pretty well is to actually create an accountant's copy. See, and I'm going to basically open and convert. All right. Now, key thing to remember about an accountant's copy, and when it pops up, it tells you this. Basically, it tells you what you can do. It sets a dividing date, and basically the accountant can work on anything before that date. All right. It tells you right there. And the client works after that date. Now, when we're done, we'll export the changes and send them back to you. All right. And now you have the same thing we have. This is kind of key. You can keep both working. Now, there's some things that drive my clients crazy. So if you're an accountant, don't take it too early, because they won't be able to, if they have to change a receivable or something like that before the date, they won't be able to. So, I try to get this as close to the time that I'm really going to work on something. Hey, until next time, let's make this our most profitable year ever.